From the dawn of human history, a quiet intuition has haunted our species. A sense that we are strangers in this world, that something essential has been forgotten, and that the forces shaping our reality operate far beyond our sight. Across cultures and millennia, mystics, prophets, and seekers have whispered of hidden powers pulling the strings of the cosmos. But among all ancient voices, none spoke more boldly or more dangerously than the Gnostics. And in their secret scriptures, buried for nearly 2,000 years beneath the sands of Egypt, they left behind a cosmic story unlike anything the world had ever seen. This is the story of the Archons, the rulers of a counterfeit world, and the divine spark within humanity that threatens their dominion. Our journey begins long before the birth of Earth, before the first star ignited, before time itself found momentum. In the highest realms of existence, the Gnostics tell of a vast spiritual reality called the Pleroma, the fullness, aka heaven, home of the aeons, eternal emanations of the true and unknowable source. Among these aeons was Sophia, the embodiment of divine wisdom. But one day, driven by a longing to create without her celestial counterpart, Sophia attempted an act of solitary emanation. The result was catastrophic. From her uncontrolled impulse emerged a malformed being, a child of imbalance and isolation. He was blind to the realms above him, ignorant of the source from which he ultimately sprang. The texts call him Yaldabaoth, Sakla, Samael, blind god, foolish one. And in the confusion of his existence, he looked upon himself and proclaimed, "I am God, and there is no other beside me." It was a declaration born not of divinity, but of blind ignorance. Seeking to rule over something, Yaldabaoth fashioned the material cosmos, not out of wisdom, but out of imitation. A shadowy copy of the spiritual realms of the Pleroma he dimly sensed, but could not see and did not understand. To administer his creation, he produced an order of cosmic administrators, the Archons, the rulers. They were powerful, but like their creator, they were flawed, dark, incomplete, unaware of the higher light. Together, they built the heavens, the planetary spheres, the chains of fate, and the structure of physical existence. The cosmos, in this view, is not inherently evil, but it is a prison of limitation, constructed by beings who did not know what the perfection of heaven truly was. Yet even in this flawed creation, something extraordinary occurred. Attempting to craft a servant, the Archons formed the body of a human being. But despite all their power, they could not animate their creation. It lay lifeless, inert, a puppet without strings. Seeing this, Sophia intervened. She breathed a spark of her own essence into the human form. And in that moment, humanity came alive with the eternal light of the Pleroma. In an instant, human beings became more than the Archons, more than their creators, for within the human soul burned a fragment of the divine wisdom that predated the cosmos itself. What followed was a deep fear by the rulers. The Archons saw that the human bore a power they could not control, and so they turned to their only true weapon, deception. They cast the first human into a deep spiritual sleep. They surrounded the soul with distractions, fears, desires, and illusions. They constructed laws, religions, and systems to bind the human mind to the material order. Through confusion and ignorance, they worked to keep humanity unaware of its true origin. In the Gnostic worldview, the fall of humankind was not the result of sin. It was an act of sabotage, a desperate attempt by cosmic rulers to suppress a being whose very nature threatened their dominion. But the spark within humanity could not be extinguished. Across generations, the divine light stirred in moments of insight, rebellion, and awakening. The Archons tightened their grip, building layers of psychic and cosmic architecture that control the mind and contain the rising flame of the spirit. They became the gatekeepers of the heavens, the overseers of fate, the lords of birth and death. Yet throughout the hidden history of the world, sages and visionaries arose, individuals who remembered. They pierced the veil, saw through the deception, and carried the ancient knowledge back to their communities. Two of the most powerful revelations survive in the Nag Hammadi scriptures: the hypostasis of the Archons and On the Origin of the World. These texts, discovered in 1945, after lying concealed since antiquity, reveal a sophisticated spiritual cosmology. They describe the realms beyond the stars, the mechanisms of the soul, and the truth about the forces that seek to rule human consciousness. In On the Origin of the World, the story expands into a cosmic war. One of the Archons, a being named Sabaoth, discovers the truth of the higher realms. Filled with awe and remorse, he rejects Yaldabaoth and turns toward the divine. In response, he is lifted out of the shadowy heavens and transformed into a radiant protector of humanity. His story proves a core Gnostic idea. Even cosmic rulers can awaken. Even the jailers can join the liberation. The Gnostic savior figure, often identified as Christ, enters this drama not as a sacrifice to appease a jealous God, but as a revealer, a messenger from the Pleroma who descends into the material world to remind humanity of what was forgotten. His mission is knowledge, gnosis, the awakening of memory. Through secret teachings, symbolic narratives, and spiritual practices, the Savior arms the soul with what it needs to ascend past the Archons after death. For in the Gnostic view, death is not freedom. It is a crossing, a journey past the astral fortresses where the Archons attempt to recycle the soul back into another life of forgetting through the Saturn-Moon matrix. Only those who awaken can pass beyond their reach. What then does this ancient mythology say about us, now in the modern world? It tells us that the sense of alienation we feel is not a psychological error, but a spiritual sign. That the suffering of the world is not divine punishment, but the byproduct of a flawed creation. That the systems of control, political, religious, economic, and ideological, are reflections of archontic architecture. Above all, it tells us that the yearning for truth, for freedom, for something beyond this world, is the pulse of the divine spark within us. Modern thinkers reinterpret the Archons in many ways, as psychological complexes, parasitic energies, interdimensional entities, or symbols for oppressive systems. But behind every interpretation is the same core idea. There exist forces that thrive on human ignorance, and there exists within humanity a light that can dissolve their power. The Gnostic message is both a warning and a promise. The warning: as long as humanity remains spiritually asleep, the Archons rule unchallenged. The promise: the moment a human truly remembers who they are, the Archons lose their hold. According to the ancient texts, the collapse of the archontic world is inevitable. When enough souls awaken, when enough sparks reconnect to their source, the counterfeit heavens will crumble and the true light will break through. In that moment, the world will not end. It will be reborn. And so the story of the Archons is not just an ancient myth. It is a blueprint for spiritual liberation, a reminder that the walls of our prison are made not of stone, but of belief. and that the key to escape has always been hidden within us, waiting for the moment we dare to remember. For in the heart of every human being lies a fragment of Sophia's eternal light, a spark older than the stars, a fire the Archons fear more than anything else. And once that light awakens inside of you, nothing in the cosmos can stop it. In the name of Yahusha HaMoshiach. Shalom. Adonai.
The cosmic pillar. I am light, I am infinite, I am the channel, I am expanding, I am psychedelic, I am vibration, I am timeless, I am unity, I am the infinite nothing that becomes the everything, I am the divine spirit that harmonizes with the laws of experiencing the desire and finding ecstasy in process. I am me, we are you.
Please like and subscribe.